Hi everyone, welcome to Community Action Now, brought to you by Eastern Nebraska Community Action Partnership. I am your host, Bryn Schimmel, and it is September 2022. It is an important month to us around here because September is Hunger Action Month, and we're going to talk more about that as we go through this show. And September is just this Hunger Action Month is a really good month for us to really highlight food insecurity in our communities and how to kind of help people out with that. So along that vein, today we have Stephanie Sullivan with us, who is from Food Bank of the Heartland, and also NCAP's NCAP's Deputy Director, Jill Connor, is also here to talk about all things kind of food related for this episode. Stephanie is the Communications and Media Relations Manager for Food Bank of the Heartland. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, your education, and what you do at the food bank?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, first and foremost.
Absolutely.
I graduated with a degree in broadcast journalism, and I started my career in news broadcasting, and I was a morning producer for a news team. And then from there, I went on to hold different roles in public relations and advertising and marketing. And all those roles kind of took me to the food bank, where I was just ready to make more of an impact in my community. And so I'm the Communications and Media Relations Manager at Food Bank for the Heartland. And I've been there for a little over a year, and it's been a wonderful experience so far.
Perfect. What would you say has been your favorite part of the job so far?
Oh gosh, there are a lot of different aspects that I just love about my job, but I will say in my role, I really hone in on storytelling. And so what I love about my job is that I'm able to talk to so many difference makers in the community, whether it's our volunteers, our donors, our neighbors in need, and I get to tell their stories with integrity and authenticity and give them a voice and a platform to share their story so it can help others in our communities.
Yeah, which is so important.
Yes.
Tell us what exactly Food Bank of the Heartland does for those people who might not know.
Yeah. Our mission at Food Bank for the Heartland is to eliminate hunger across the 93 counties we serve, and we do this by ensuring consistent access to healthy food through our community partners. What a lot of people think is that they can come into the food bank and get food they need, and that's not actually the case. Think of the food bank as a central warehouse, and so we get the food into our warehouse either through donations or through purchasing the food. We collect and store and then repackage that food and distribute it to our network partners. And currently we have 550 network partners. That includes churches, schools, emergency shelters, mobile pantries, and other nonprofit organizations. And so there's 550 of those network partners.
Wow.
Across Nebraska and western Iowa.
Okay.
So we currently serve 77 counties in 77 counties in Nebraska and 16 counties in western Iowa.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah.
How would an organization become a partner with you guys and be able to receive that food?
Yeah, we would love to partner with even more organizations, so they can go directly to our website, foodbankheartland.org. In the footer of our website, there was a blue bar called Network Partners. They can click on that, learn more information about what it entails, and there's actually a prospective application packet. They can go in there, fill it out, and it'll be sent to our network relations team, who will review it and then get back to them.
Okay. And NCAP actually is one of the partners that benefits from that food distribution with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Jill, if you wanted to speak a little bit to how that works at our senior food pantry in Omaha and then in Bellevue as well.
Sure. So we are privileged to be partners with Food Bank of the Heartland, and we work in both Douglas and Sarpy County. And so in Douglas County, we have food distribution, food support for seniors 60 plus on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to noon, and that's still continuing to be drive-up service, so that we can just load up the car,
Yep.
and then seniors can be on their way. And then we also run commodity food distribution out of that office, so we deliver to approximately 1,100 seniors through that program each month. And then in Sarpy County, we operate the Bellevue Food Pantry, Distribution hours are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. You just need to be a resident of Sarpy County and seeking services. And then our newest day that we added at the beginning of the week is 12 to 4 on Mondays. So just come to the door the first time someone comes to the door. We need to fill out a little bit of paperwork, but after that, just bring your ID and we're happy to help however we can. So we really appreciate the partnership, and we really couldn't do that to serve the Sarpy County community without you, so thank you.
Oh gosh, well, we couldn't do it without you. So same back at you. We are just so appreciative of all of our network partners because you are on the ground helping our neighbors in need, and we could not do this work without you.
Thank you.
So across all of those counties, a very large area, how many food insecure people are there in this service area?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that number is constantly changing.
Sure.
But according to the latest data from Feeding America, there's more than 175,000 people in the Heartland struggling with food insecurity. And that's actually 1 in 10 across the Heartland and 1 in 7 children. And what we're seeing more and more is that there are disparities of food insecurity throughout the Heartland. 1 in 3 Black people are struggling with food insecurity, and 1 in 5 Hispanic people. And so we're confident that number is going to go up with inflation right now.
Sure.
People are really struggling, and it's a really hard time for our neighbors in need.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about the inflation and kind of how that has affected operations and affected Food Bank of the Heartland.
It's had a huge impact on our operations, and not just on Food Bank, but on our network partners, and most importantly, our neighbors in need. We've seen a 40% increase in the number of households served from May to June of this year.
Wow.
And on top of that, there's been more than a 40% increase in SNAP applications coming in across Nebraska and Iowa. Inflation is really crippling our operations right now. We said during the pandemic that we had not seen a food crisis like this in our 40-year history, and that was before inflation.
Right.
And so our freight costs have gone up 125% since 2020.
Wow.
Food costs have gone up upwards of 30%. So it's costing us more to purchase the food.
Right.
It's costing us more to transport the food. A truckload of food that used to cost us $1,200 to transport can now cost us $2,700 to transport. And so it's costing us more on every aspect, but on top of that, donations are down because all different incomes are feeling the inflation levels, right? So people are pinching their pennies more.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone is struggling. And what makes matters even worse is that the pandemic era programs that we had at our disposal, such as the stimulus payments, the tax credits,
the relief
employee
funds.
insurance, yes, all of that has either sunsetted or completely expired. And so the tools and resources we had at our disposal at the onset of the pandemic is no longer there. So we're doing more with less. We plan to distribute 27 million meals to neighbors in need this fiscal year, and we're doing it with less resources, and that's been real challenging for us.
Wow, impressive though. It really speaks to the heart of the organization and all of the partners that work, that you're figuring it out and making it happen, and trying to help people who are really in need. About how many pounds of food do you typically distribute each year?
It changes every year, depending on the need. Last fiscal year, we distributed more than 37 million pounds of food.
Wow.
So we're going to see probably those numbers increase as the need goes up. And the talented team at the food bank is just determined to do whatever they can to not only feed those in need, but do it more efficiently and do it safely and effectively as well. And so we could not do it without the team at the food bank, and we couldn't do it without the generosity of our community.
Yeah, absolutely. We obviously, as a nonprofit, also feel that we could never provide what we do without the people that support us.
Yeah.
About how big is the team at the food bank currently?
Currently, we have about 70 full-time employees.
Okay.
We have really expanded our talent at the food bank. Obviously, since the pandemic, we've seen an increased need, and because of that, we need more people on our staff to serve those neighbors in need. And so right now we have 70 people, and we currently have a couple job openings right now, and if anyone is interested, we'd love to hear from you.
Okay.
They can go to our website, click on the careers page, and check out the open positions.
Awesome. Well, that's perfect. That feels like a good time to pause and take a break. So let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back to talk about more for Hunger Action Month.
Hi, I'm Mike DiGiacomo, a born and raised American and a food lover, and I invite you to join me as we discover the origins of flavor, the journey of spices, and the recipes of the world.
Where can you watch KPAO Community Television? You know, the channel with all of the local shows. If you live in the Omaha area, Cox Channel 22 HD is your place. If you prefer streaming, go to kpaoTVOmaha.org. And now, if you have the Apple TV box, grab our app and watch us there. KPAO on cable, streaming live, and now on Apple TV.
Without the help of you guys, I wouldn't have fresh vegetables and fruit. You guys are a blessing.
As a stay-at-home mom, our food budget is tight, so the food box we receive helps stretch our food budget.
Gracias. Una vez más, gracias por darle comida a la gente que lo necesita.
I picked up some food for my mother-in-law who went through several rounds of chemo, and so I just wanted to thank all of the volunteers who were there that day to hand out the food.
In 2019, we endured historic flooding, followed by the devastating COVID-19 pandemic. And while many people have gone back to work, lives haven't gone back to normal. Heartland families are still struggling. Individuals across the region are still facing the lingering effects of the pandemic, and they will be for years to come. Last year, Food Bank for the Heartland provided a record number of meals to people in need. Today, access to nutritious food is more critical than ever. You have the power to make a real difference in the lives of so many people in need. And together, we can create a healthier Heartland. One meal, one volunteer, one community, and one donation at a time. Donate, find food, or sign up to volunteer at foodbankheartland.org.
And I'd just like to say thank you again.
Gracias por ayudarme.
You help so many people, and thank you, thank you, thank you.
I want to thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Welcome back to Community Action Now, our September episode. We have Stephanie from Food Bank of the Heartland here, and also NCAP's Deputy Director Jill Connor. And we mentioned at the beginning of the show that September is Hunger Action Month. Let's talk a little bit about what Hunger Action Month is, and then what the Food Bank is doing this month to build awareness around that.
Yeah, Hunger Action Month is a month-long campaign, and we partner with Feeding America really to raise awareness across the country about food insecurity. And what we want to do is encourage the public to take action, and they can do that in several different ways. They can visit our website and find information on learning more about food insecurity, and with that information, taking action, becoming an advocate for food insecurity, speaking to our Congress about certain bills that can be passed for food insecurity. And with that, we want people to take that a step further. They can donate funds right directly from our website. They can even host a food drive of their own or host a virtual funds drive. And we also have some really fun events happening this month that we would love for the public to participate in. We have a Stuff the Truck event coming up this Saturday. It's at the Baker's Pepperwood location.
And that's September 10th.
Yep,
Okay.
From 10 a.m. to noon. And we've done a couple of these, and it's really a great way for people who are doing their food shopping to make an impact on neighbors in need. And so once they get to the door, our team members will hand them a list of some of the most needed items, such as peanut butter and jelly, pasta, boxed meals, pasta sauce, macaroni and cheese, things of that nature.
Right.
And as they're food shopping, they can just get these items and purchase them. And then as they walk out the door, we'll take it, we'll literally stuff the truck, and it goes directly into our communities to help those struggling with food insecurity.
And you said that you typically do a few of those kinds of events throughout the year.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What other events does Food Bank of the Heartland do in order to raise funds or food drives throughout the year?
We have a couple of different fun campaigns and events. Coming up in November is our 16th annual Shine the Light on Hunger campaign. And this is a campaign championed by ConAgra Brands Foundation. And it's a wonderful way for the public to get involved with raising as much funds as they can for our neighbors in need. And it's in conjunction with the Holiday Lights Festival, which is really fun. So it runs from November 17th until the end of the year. And we actually partner with nonprofit arts organizations throughout downtown Omaha. And so you'll see blue barrels that people can donate canned, good, non-perishable items. And they can also donate funds directly to our website. It's a really great event, and it's a wonderful way to get the whole family involved. And so we're really excited to kick that off in November. And then in March, we have our annual Celebrity Chef event. And this is our biggest fundraiser of the year. We usually get a really big name chef in, and this year we're excited to host it on Thursday, March 2nd. And anyone in the public can come. It's a wonderful food demonstration by our chef, and you learn a lot about food insecurity, what our team is doing. You hear from neighbors in need, and you really see not only what's happening in our communities, but how you can easily make an impact for those in need.
Sure, and besides donating either financially or with food, if people want to volunteer their time, what kind of opportunities do you have for volunteers?
That's a great question. So volunteers are the lifeline of our mission, and we could not do this work without them. We offer 10 different volunteer sessions throughout the week, and we have sessions at all different times that people can sign up for. So they can go directly to our website and they can fill out the form online to volunteer. We encourage people to grab their friends, grab their family, grab your church group. It's so much fun, and the shifts are 2.5 hours, and you can make such a huge impact in a short amount of time and really feel like you're making a difference in the community. And so again, our volunteers, we could not do it without them, and we are always looking for volunteers. Right now we're at 45 people per shift, and so there's plenty of opportunities for people.
Yeah, I would guess that on a operation this large of a scale, that there is quite a need for good amounts of volunteers to assist with everything that you guys do.
Yeah, there's always a job, and we'll find something for someone at all times.
Perfect. Let's shift a little bit just back to the food insecurity. We've talked even before on the show this year just about how with the pandemic and everything affecting people that, have never necessarily struggled before. I'm going to have Jill talk a little bit about, you talked some about the percentages of increased need, and we've seen that, just in our organization as well. So Jill, if you wanted to talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So with distribution, just on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we've still been seeing record numbers since May of this past year, especially. We thought May was a record month, and then June was a record month, and so on. And what we're really seeing are lots of new households, lots of new families, lots of new individuals coming through who have never needed services before that aren't really sure where to turn. I can recall very specifically a couple of instances answering the door, and an individual, she said, "I just don't know where to go. I'm waiting on an organ transplant, and my partner is unable to work because they are scheduling all of my significant medical appointments." And so they're really struggling as to where to go or what to do or how to seek resources in the community. So that's a tough position to be in. And then over the holidays, especially whether it's a spring break or anything, a break in school is tough on parents as well. So we had a father who was out due to COVID from his job, and so he was not working, not bringing in any income, and so then the children were quarantined as well, so they were kind of stuck at home without access to food. So that's really when we were able to do food delivery service that started in the Sarpy County, Bellevue area last July, and really be able to try to meet that need as it comes through the door.
And Food Bank of the Heartland, we wanted to mention this resource, and we will be putting up all of the information, the website and the volunteer forms, and the if an organization wants to become a partner, we're going to put all of that information up on the screen. But specifically, the Food Bank of the Heartland website has a tool, a map, where you can go and just type in your city or your zip code, and it will give you a list of resources if you are needing food. And that is across all of the counties that you serve, I would assume.
Yes, that's across our entire service area, and it's a new interactive map, and it really allows people to find a food provider, whether it be a mobile pantry or a brick and mortar pantry that is closest to them, and they can find the list of hours, the pantry's numbers in there that they can contact, and so it really gives them all the information they need with where their closest location is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it a little bit more difficult in kind of some of the more rural areas for people to access resources?
Absolutely. I mean, food insecurity affects all demographics. The urban areas, suburban areas, and the rural areas as well. And we want to make sure that everyone in the 93 counties we serve has consistent access to healthy food. And so we have mobile pantries in far western Nebraska, and we have mobile pantries and brick and mortar pantries out there. And so we're doing everything we can to ensure that every county has that access.
And you said too that you had had a few specific instances that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, as Jill mentioned, we're hearing from more neighbors in need that are using our assistance for the first time and who never thought they would be in this situation. I spoke to a neighbor in Central City, Nebraska, and she had been a teacher for years and unfortunately had an injury and was let go from her job. And she was the type of person who always provided for others and never ever thought she would need assistance. We've spoken to a neighbor in Long Pine, Nebraska, whose husband passed away from COVID, and she was down to one income Social Security. And we are all just one crisis or one situation away from it happening to us. It's the neighbor down the street. It's your daughter's student in her class.
Right.
It's anyone and everyone. And really, hunger knows no boundaries, and we know this now more than ever.
I think the pandemic really highlighted.
Absolutely, and we're just seeing those numbers spike, and we are doing everything we can to ensure that our team is dedicated to tackling this hunger crisis. And we've seen that from past challenges and past recessions that it can take close to 10 years, and we're assuming that that's going to be the case with this.
Wow.
It's going to take us years to overcome this, but our team is dedicated and our network partners are dedicated to eliminating hunger across the Heartland.
Well, that is amazing, and we're so grateful for you guys and the work that you do and being able to partner with you. And I mean, 550 organizations is massive, but I'm sure it still doesn't quite, meet the high need. So we appreciate you being here and we appreciate what you guys do. Before we kind of wrap up the show for today, is there anything else about the food bank that you'd like to mention? Anything coming up that we might have forgotten about?
Yeah, thank you for that. I want to mention we are really excited for Hunger Action Month, and right now during this special month we have a match of up to $60,000. And so typically $1 can provide up to 4 meals, and if anyone is willing to donate during the month of September, that $1 can now provide 8 meals.
Amazing.
And so it's going to take that dollar so much further, and we are so grateful to Friends of the Food Bank who have generously stepped up to match up to $60,000 in donations.
That's amazing. Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, we're really excited. And September 23rd, Friday, September 23rd is Hunger Action Day, and we're encouraging everyone to wear orange to help us just raise awareness for food insecurity and those struggling with it.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for being here. September, this Hunger Action Month, is a really important month for us and for you guys as we try to raise awareness and meet that need. And so we're really happy to have you on and to talk about all of this. And as always, thank you to Jill as well for lending her expertise and wisdom. Make sure that you tune in next month for our next episode and get in touch with us through any of the avenues on the screen if you have questions or would like to get involved. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thank you, guys.